My question is to the Premier. During the recent ice storm and the power outage, it was clear that the province's emergency management preparedness plan was either ignored or it was lacking, or perhaps it was both. Whether it was the disregard of basic communications channels of MPPs,
Order. Order. All right, let's go to the people now.
whether it was a disregard for basic communication channels of operation to opposition MPPs, or the glaring reality that politics, not progress, was behind the giveaway gift card fiasco, it was clear that this government put postal code politics ahead of plan for Ontarians. In the aftermath of the ice storm, the Ontario Progressive Conservative Caucus asked for a select committee to study the province's emergency preparedness protocol.
Question.
Quicker response in the future. I'm sending by page over our direct request to the government House Leader, as well as our proposal, and I would ask the Premier stand in her place and agree with that.
Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, I can tell you, having met every day during the ice storm with the leadership from Emergency Management Ontario and Hydro One, Mr. Speaker, I know that they were on the ground in every community that was struck by the ice storm, Mr. Speaker. They were working hard to make sure that all of those lines were reconnected, Mr. Speaker, and that people got their power back, and they did it, Mr. Speaker, around the clock. There were workers on the ground. It was complicated. It was complicated because of the tree coverage, Mr. Speaker. It was complicated because of the breadth of the storm. But the fact is that those workers were on the ground, and their leadership was engaged across government to make sure that every resource, whether there was an emergency declared or not, Mr. Speaker, and the member opposite knows that there were not emergencies declared except in one jurisdiction, but across the board in every jurisdiction, every resource was available to communities.
Thank you. The member from Northumberland will come to order. Carry on.
The workers' leadership is not in question. It is your leadership that is in question. This wasn't just a Toronto issue. Opposition members of the legislature, even from Toronto, never received verbal briefings from you, your energy minister, or anyone over there. You chose to give gift cards out in the city of Toronto, but not to opposition areas until much later in the day. Your own energy minister was missing in action. And I will say this, Minister, you showed leadership.
The Minister of Education will come to order. I'm going to say it again just to make sure you heard it. The Minister of Education will come to order, and then the member from Renfrew is prepared to receive another one. I will give it to him, but he's on the edge. Please finish.
Minister of Energy was Mayor of Ottawa and Regional Chair. He actually displayed leadership at a time of crisis. I don't know what has changed with him. Perhaps he's now a lapdog for this government. But what is unacceptable was their postal code politics that were playing in seats that they could win at the expense of people in other affected areas. Let me ask the Premier this one more time. Will you call the Select Committee? Will you put progress before politics?
Stop the clock. Seated, please. Seated, please. Premier.
Very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, I really have to say that I honestly believe that this is a shameful question, because the fact is that there were people working across the province, Mr. Speaker. The member opposite knows perfectly well that the gift card program, which is a small part of our attempt to offer some support, was offered in every community, Mr. Speaker. Every municipality that was affected was offered, and they took it up, Mr. Speaker, and the member opposite knows that. My understanding, Mr. Speaker, is that the member for Nepean Carleton's office was offered a briefing, and that was declined, Mr. Speaker.
I am looking for some decorum, and I resent when I do get control and we do get calm, somebody uses it as an opportunity to start it again. You have 10 seconds.
But it was my understanding. If that's not the case, then we will look into that. There are 2 reviews that are happening, Mr. Speaker, as a part of the response to the ice storm. There's the after-action report and the supply chain review.
Thank you. Thank you. Your question?